Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and I want to break down and spend a little time talking about formation. So a lot of players had a lot of questions when it comes to campaign progression, when it comes to formations in general. How exactly do you build a lot of formations? So I went over, looked up some Google searches, looked at Reddit, looked at a lot of places. We have guides that are 2, 3, 4, 5 years old for AFK Arena that unfortunately are so outdated. I'm just going to go ahead and wing this and show you, and I know I'm at a very high level at this point of the game, but I want to run through the formations that we're seeing as it sits today and exactly the synergy or why they are working as we're seeing them. So looking in the formations, and a lot of players were kind of asking, when you look at this top player, Tom, he has 101 billion combat rating. Now looking down at the very bottom, there is 1 trillion combat rating. So you're literally talking a 10x difference in the same formation in the same stage. Now, the reason why you see this, and I know a lot of players have asked, is when it comes to the campaign is actually a progressive campaign. So what that means is as players progress further into the campaign, the stages that they're clearing get easier for players that are following behind them. So it is kind of intuitive. As they're coming through here, they will get easier for players below. In addition, when we start and continue going through AFK Arena, Lilith has made a lot of the stages easier, just like we see with progression within tower formations, where once new tower floors come out, they do make the progression a little bit easier. But ultimately, as players are pushing through here, it does make a big difference. Now, you also notice that we're at the place, guys. These are 1,322 is the level on here. You can see all of these shiny engraving stars. You can see the plus 30 signature items, the 9 of 9 furniture. These heroes are built out because we are in stage 6644. So we're almost through chapter 66 at this point, which I believe there's 71, maybe coming up on 72 chapters in here. So we're making, and it's kind of crazy because I remember being in chapter 20, even mid 20s, which were very difficult to get through. Then we went in 30s, 40s, 50s. Now we're 60s going into the 70s. So let's get into this. And I want to kind of break down the formations in here. Now, the first one we see is the Thorin cheese. Now, the methodology or the logic behind this is you have to get every single hero around Thorin. And I want to run through here. We'll let this play. I'll stop it at some points, but you want to get everything around Thorin when it comes to this specific formation. And right there. So if you look, the combination of having Skarath in here and having Iran in here, this is what we call the 5 pull with these two, but this is centered around the Thorin cheese. Now, the way that this works is you have Leica in the backfield. Leica is actually going to have the ability to give haste so that their abilities go off a lot faster. But providing the haste from Leica is going to give Iran the ability to pull everyone together. Skarath moves them in closer, then Iran pulls them all together. Now, Lorzen will link 2 targets together. That is very important because that means that the 2 linked targets, and as you can see right here, it looks like Nadia and it looks like Kaz. These 2 linked targets together are going to share the damage that Thorin's going to put out, meaning it's going to make a big difference. Now, you'll see Thorin is right here. He died once. He came back up. There's the retaliation. Now, all the damage that he takes during this time is going to be retaliated, and that is how he has the ability right there to one-shot everybody, putting out 3.5 trillion damage because of the ability to one-shot all of these targets. So essentially, he becomes an absorption battery, whereas the enemy is putting a ton of damage into him, even here, billions of damage into Thorin himself. He retaliates or reflects that damage right back, allowing him to do a crazy amount of damage, and he can one-shot entire teams. This has actually been around since the introduction of Thorin, and of course, it was further built with signature items. He does require at least the signature item unlocked, plus 30 signature item ideal. You don't need to do the engraving. You don't need to do the furniture on here. You can add it if it helps, but overall the engraving is not needed. So looking at the second formation, this one is a very, very interesting one as well. And this is actually kind of a very similar cheese formation. Does really hinge around Thorin. And you see there, we do have Matria. Now you'll notice in this formation that everyone dies pretty quick. And this is another one where when you think of higher level beasts, right here, having the Fox Fatale is going to be able to essentially crowd control a crazy amount of heroes which we'll see right here. It's interesting to see. So right there, so Thorin goes down very early. You can see Namora is still up, that Maitreya is still dead, and Thorin, of course, gets stronger as he dies over and over and over again. And you'll notice right there that everyone is stunned from Thorin, and you also see that Leica right there was charmed. So as the Fox Fatale shows up and charms targets, the charmed targets are actually going to kill their own team. Right there, you've seen the charm across everyone, meaning they're actually a team that is killing themselves. You can see Maitreya's still been dead this whole entire time. Thorin is killing himself to run around here, and as the Fox Fatale right there pops out one more time, everybody goes back to being charmed, which you've seen right there. That is how this is able to win only with 4 heroes at this level. It is, again, almost as there is a Thorin cheese. So you'll notice as well that Thorin finally dies, and Thorin dies for good. Maitreya is another one very similar to Talene that comes back to life after she dies. Boom, we got another charm right there. You can see we have the fear, and the pet is coming up, meaning Maitreya took no damage at all during that fight, short of when she died in the beginning. And you'll notice even there that looking at, the healing, very, very low when it comes to damage, no healing at all, but you'll see this team just technically killed themselves. That is the big broken ability that we see right here of the Fox Fatale. You can see not only doing 814 million damage as a beast, but also just charming the team to kill themselves in the entirety. So it's pretty cool, again, how it works. Very similar to what we see with the Thorin cheese. That's exactly what happens in this formation. Now, the third one, this one is a little bit broken, and I want to kind of cover how this one works. So right off the bat, it is kind of a weird methodology with how these heroes work. So you'll notice right up front, we do have Alna. Now, Alna does require the 9 of 9 furniture, and then we have Demia. So Demia actually has an ability that will keep heroes alive during her seasonal change. I forget exactly what the name of it is, but when that is up, she will actually keep all the heroes alive, even if they take fatal damage. Now, Alna's 9 of 9 furniture will keep Demia alive, even if she takes fatal damage because of the Winter's Call ability that Alna possesses. Now, to make this even further, when you have the level 2 collection for Mahira placed on Demia, she can actually heal when she takes fatal damage. So when you think about this formation in general, Alna's keeping Demia alive. Demia's collection is keeping Demia alive. Demia's ability is keeping Demia alive, allowing Belinda and Lavatoon to just do a crazy amount of damage. Ultimately, most of the formations, like we've traditionally seen, there is one damage dealer, which in this case is Belinda. Ivan is in here to shield and buff Belinda to allow her to ult actually a lot faster. Lavatoon is in here as a really, really big buffer for this entire team. And you'll notice as soon as they come out that Ivan will go down in just a minute, and he will actually go down, providing that shield around Belinda, increasing the energy regeneration, increasing the damage output that Belinda is going to do. And there's Demia's ability. So Demia just ulted. You'll notice this season does change. All the flowers are back here, which means heroes can't die. So Belinda ults, and you'll see with the combination. So there's an ult. Look at her energy right there. She ults again. Look at the energy. It just goes up so fast. So Alna ulted. Belinda ulted a third time right here. So that's before Demia ulted the second time. Ivan ulted. Lavatoon ulted. Anybody else ulted. And there we go. Belinda ulting again. The energy regeneration just goes through the roof with the combination of the heroes and allows you to burn down the targets. Because if you're aware, the awakened version of Belinda burst damage is just absolutely uncanny with how much damage she can put out in such a very, very short amount of time. It is incredible. And as you can see, it is just ult after ult after ult. Now, in addition to this, Ivan being engraved will, of course, increase Belinda's damage output, but Ivan's squires, so the plus 30 engraving on Ivan's squires, will chain stun targets. So again, it's a little bit broken. You'll see every now and then the little squire will come over. It's a little skull looking thing, which I believe is right up here, but that will provide crowd control for this entire team again, so they're not taking fatal damage, because Ivan is crowd controlling as well as everyone else. There's the rampage of 5 kills. Now we just have the little scarecrow down here. And thinking of Belinda, so we're talking almost 40 seconds, 3.86 trillion damage. That is how fast she can ult. That is how much damage she puts out in such, and I mean, look at this, guys. Billions, even there, right there with Thisu, 1.24 trillion damage this hero took before they fell at this level. It's incredible. Now, looking at number 4, this is another one, again, that you can kind of cheese. Now, the reason this one works is you have crowd control from Tamaris, you have crowd control from Iran, you have crowd control from Aethys. Now, if you're familiar with this very first tank, which is Aethys, he is broken when it comes to being a master tank and really being able to take an incredible amount of damage. So it looks like they're even probably running Aethys up front by himself, and he will crowd control. You can see Iran's Tornadoes already came out because he does have the engraving. He's got the signature item. So that comes out right out of the bat. And you'll notice that the lockdown begins as soon as they get out. Tamaris brings everyone together. And then Aethys brings everyone together. And here comes the damage combined with the crowd control. So you see they're all caught within these roots themselves. They're not moving anywhere. This is going to allow Iran to just literally spam this little spot right here. Looks like Flora did drop a little flower right there, but you can see the crowd control over and over and over again. Then you mix on the haste and also the immunity circle in here, so they're not going to take as much damage. They're going to stay here and just literally slowly and very slowly work this entire team down until the point that they are dead, between the double crowd control that they're offering, and then of course having your little beast right there putting down that haste buff. It's a very slow death for these heroes, but again, at this level deficiency, I don't know how many times it took, how many attempts essentially they went through here, but there are some really cool formations like this that literally you can see 46 billion damage, 2.48 trillion damage, because of the crowd control and the way that Awakened Iran works. You can lock them down in their entirety. And of course, Tamaris was just in here for really bringing them all together to allow Aethys to control them with the roots, to actually crowd control them, and of course, amplify the damage that they're taking. And the 5th formation in here is Liberta. Now, when we think of Liberta, when we think of Lucila, they are such a very, very strong combination as the ability to cheat death. Now, you'll notice in here that we have a mythic Mahira. That's right, guys. This hero is only mythic at this point. And you'll see right off the bat that, one, Brutus offers immunity. This is why players build Brutus. With Brutus's immunity, it doesn't matter if you're at level 1,000 or 1 million. Brutus is still going to have the exact same time of the immunity, which of course is imperative when you have teams that have a lot of very big burst heroes, or heroes that almost insta-kill like Thalia does with a specific target. You can put Brutus in there, and essentially Brutus is going to negate that insta-kill because of the immunity. Now, Rowan up here is, of course, going to yield and give out a potion at the very beginning, which is going to be energy regeneration. Lucila, in my opinion, is probably going to die right at the beginning. I haven't even seen this. Then you have Liberta, that, of course, utility-wise, this here was broken, doing damage, doing healing, doing everything pretty much anyone needs. Then Mahira is going to provide crowd control. Now, you'll also notice in here that we do have this little guy, which is the Shrooms Booter, that is sitting up here. That is a crowd control monster, and you'll see exactly what we talk about. This is why having these higher level beasts do really make a big, big game-changing difference. Going in here, you'll see right off the bat, when we enter that Rowan and Lucila is probably going to die pretty quick, but there's the Shroom Spooter. So right off the back, we have this whole piece over here, right there. Lucila went down like we thought. Rowan's still up there, and there we go. There's the Charm. So very similar to what we just seen with Fox Fatale. You are charming the entire enemy team. Now, as a result, they're going to kill themselves. So you'll see them actually start fighting each other. Right there, Gwen is shooting targets. You can see Belinda is attacking right up here, Ullard. They are together. And you'll also notice this giant link right here. That is what Liberta does with a lot of the healing. Charm goes off again. Now also watch Mahira's energy. You will see this kind of go off the chart. So there's an alt, one, what, just kind of watching the time, 2, 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds, Mahira charms again. This entire team is going to be very similar to the Iran one, very similar to the Fox Fatale. We are just going to spam crowd control and spam charms until this team kills itself. Now, in addition, with the Shroom Spooter, you'll see that there is a taunt, meaning that you see none of the heroes in here are dying. Between the charm, between the taunt, they're just going to kill each other because they're attacking the Shroom Spooter. And of course, they're not attacking your heroes themselves. And even Beast Energy up here, you'll see it comes back very fast. Now, right there, the immunity shield finally ended on Brutus. Crowd control from Rowan right there, as well as energy regeneration. Spamming that again and again and again. There is our link. So right now, Belinda is going to be taking a lot of damage from Liberta because of the link we have in there. And not only are they doing damage to the targets, but Liberta is doing damage, and that they're doing damage to each other. That's what I mean. They're going in here. You can see this hero right here is actually moving down and was moving right down to Belinda to go ahead and kill the target itself or herself. And then, of course, just lock down between crowd control and everything else, giving it a victory within here. Guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Definitely wanted to share because, again, a lot of players were wondering, how do these comps work? How exactly are you able to come in here and do this with the heroes that are provided? What is the trick? What is going on with the battle stats? And why are we seeing, the formations like this? It's pretty crazy. But honestly, even thinking of an earlier game, really when you run formations, you want one primary tank, then you're going to fill it, one primary damage dealer, then you're going to fill it with usually crowd control, or it is going to be support. Support is super strong within AFK Arena. You could put one tank in there doing like a Naruko or an Aethys. That will do very, very well. But overall, a lot of players have also kind of questioned Rem. So a lot of players come in here and out of the garrison, they have been getting Rem. Rem has been a hero that a lot of players have really had as a driving force to make progression. Also, a lot of players have also been saying that Amelia is super broken as well. So instead of having Rem actually carry you early game, they went with Amelia and it did work incredibly well. But Rem is honestly the one to go to. So once you get to the garrison shop and you're able to get that copy of Rem, that is going to be your driver through a lot of AFK Arena. And as your heroes get stronger, Rem's going to get stronger. So it is kind of counterintuitive to go in there and get the heroes early, or really intuitive to go in there and get the heroes early to make a driving force in there. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.